Hey there, it's Jen, and I'm here with a new layout using the Hip Kit Club's May kits. I'm the guest designer there this month, and I am going to be scrapbooking this photo of my daughter. We took a walk, and it was like the most beautiful day, the first beautiful day of the year, and so she was super excited, and I made her take a jumping photo, and it's just cute. I thought this paper would be the perfect background for this layout because she's wearing the pink shirt, and so I'm going to use this for my background. I cut out some of the free printables for this month. These are the printables that are available to anyone who is, these aren't just the subscriber printables. You can have these cut files even if you aren't a subscriber, and they're made by Ashley Horton from, she owns the Cut Shop. And so I cut out two of them. I'm not sure which one I'll use, but I cut out the word happy, and I also cut out this cute one that says bloom. And I like the bloom, but we'll see if it works. I'm also planning to use some of the 3x4 and 4x6 cards on this layout that are from the Project Life kit. And so I'm going to be using those for layering or something like that. And so that's how I'm going to get started. I'll go ahead and put you on fast forward and talk you through my process.
Okay, so I want to preface this with a little warning that I struggled with this layout at first. I was not sure how I wanted this to go, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So to start, I know I'm going to use this word hello, and I'm not quite sure yet if I'm going to use it as like a squared off piece or if I'm going to hand trim out the word hello. So I'm just cutting it up here, trying to decide how I want to use it, and I'm going to use it in part of my title. And you can see that I quickly decided that I wanted to hand trim this word out. So now I'm going to play around with what I want to do here, and I know I want to do some sort of subtitle. So I'm pulling out those exclusive puffy stickers, the alphabet that are navy, and they are just awesome. So I thought I was going to do hello warmth or hello warm days or hello warmth and sunshine or something like that. So I'm spelling out the word warmth here. And I like the way that looks, but I'm kind of questioning if I like the navy. It's kind of dark for the title compared to the hello, and so I'm debating whether I want to do that because I'm really sticking to bright and fun colors on this layout, and so I'm just debating. So I'm going to play around with this bloom die cut and see if I might want to use that next to my photo and layer it up with the title. And looking back now, I kind of like this, but I end up not using it. In fact, I don't use either of the cut files that I cut out. I'm sure I'll use them on another layout, but I'm going to play with it. So then I thought maybe I could do hello happy, but then the colors weren't right, so I decided to try misting the word happy with my colorings. Is that what it's called? Vibes in Jenny B Blue. That's from the color kit. I just misted it in a little box that I have there, and I'm just kind of dabbing up the excess, and I'm going to see if that works for me, but it's not going to. I'm going to play with it, but this is where I kind of decide that I am going to place my title along that diagonal, and I really like the way that looks. I apologize for the focus because it must have been on manual or on autofocus, and I usually switch it to manual when I'm videoing so it doesn't go in and out of focus like that when I'm moving around, so I apologize for that. So here I am taking a strip of the paper that's actually on the back of the background paper I'm using, and you can't see it. I'm sorry you can't see it, but I'm cutting out the word sun, and I really like the way this looks. Now, if you didn't have the extra add-on pattern paper, you could cut this out of the back of the paper where your photo's going to be. I only used just a little bit, so you could definitely gut your paper to get those letters. So I just kind of freehand trimmed those out, but you could cut them on a silhouette or something like that too. So now I'm going to play around with the 3x4 cards and see if I can layer them up in an interesting way behind my photo. And I'm going to play around with a lot of different things. I cut the little tab that says snapshot out of one of the cards, and I really like that. And that's going to bring in some navy, so I will bring in navy elsewhere on the layout too. So here's where I'm just kind of struggling. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. And then I remembered the awesome exclusive die cuts, and this is where my layout gets saved. So I pulled some of those florals, which it almost made me a little sad to use them. And you know how sometimes you hoard things that you love so much? I felt like doing that with these florals. They're just so pretty. But I used them on this layout, and they look amazing, and I love them. So I'm glad I did. I'm using some of the little arrows that are on the puffy sticker sheet with the letters, and I'm going to point that to my title, Hello Sun. And then I decide to kind of soften things up a bit. Instead of layering some of the cards behind my photo, I pull out some of the vellum that's in the cardstock add-on, and I punched the edges of some of it with my notebook edge punch from EK Success, and I really like that. So I just layered up 2 randomly cut pieces of vellum there. And now I'm going to pop up my title. So I'm putting foam adhesive on the back of all of these letters, and I'm going to skip forward so you don't have to watch me do that because that's tedious. But I really think that it helps the title to stand out a bit. So I haven't glued it down yet, but I did go ahead and lay that down. So I wanted a little bit more interest on my background. So I decided to do some of the smushing technique on the background. And because this pattern paper has a little bit of it's not a glossy texture, but it's kind of a slick finish, I just needed to put down some gesso first. So I just put on some clear gesso there. And then I'm going to use Distress ink in Picked Raspberry. I pulled out Abandoned Coral, but I don't think I use it. And Spice Marmalade. And I'm just going to mix the two together to get kind of it's a really orangey color, but it's a little bit deeper of an orange than the Spice Marmalade. And I'm just smushing that all around the background. And I'm focusing more orange on the orange portion of the pattern paper and more of the pink on the pink portion. And then I'm going to make some splatters with both of the colors. And here you'll see that. So I'm just adding some splatters. I just added some water to some Distress ink and then picked it up with a paintbrush. And what I really, really love is the way that the orange splatters look on the pink side. So you'll see that here right now. And when they dried, they looked so pretty. And the background's still a little bit wet, so they kind of soaked in a little. You can see it already. It just looks so pretty. The orange side doesn't look as pretty as the pink side. So I'm just kind of cleaning up my mess here. And then I will let this dry. So I'm going to you can see I'm giving thumbs up to the pink side and a thumbs down to the orange side, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm just going to layer up my photo and my vellum. Oh, and then I get impatient and pull out my heat tool. I'm heating it from the back and the front so it doesn't warp too much, and it didn't get too bad. So I'm just I was trying to flatten it out a little bit by bending it. And then I just cut off the branding strip. And now I'm going to get my title stuck down. So I'm just peeling off the little adhesive and sticking that down. And I really like the way this looks. And my initial thought was to do a title that says Hello Sunshine, but I like the way this just says Hello Sun. It's a little bit different, and I'm sure I've done a layout before that says Hello Sunshine. And this was, like I mentioned before, kind of the first day of the year that the sun was really out and it was warm, and we were just so happy to have that sunshine. So I stapled that snapshot little portion of the 3x4 card that I cut out. And now I'm layering up my flowers below the photo, and I thought it would be nice to bring a bit of that floral element up to the title area too. So I'm pulling out some of the other smaller florals, and I'm going to layer them up in between the words hello and sun. I put a little bit of, so I'm bringing in that navy now, you can see. I put a little sprig of leaves into the bottom cluster and that little scalloped piece up at the top. And those are all from the exclusive die cut package. So I'm going to layer up that white flower and that pink flower at the top. You'll see here in just a second. I'm sorry I'm a little bit out of frame there. I'm also going to put a white flower on the bottom and that little label, and I'm going to stamp the date on that little label. So I'm just trying to remember what the date is. I'm going to stamp that in a navy color as well. I apologize again that it's below where you couldn't see, but for most of the adhesive on this layout, I used just some double-sided tape kind of adhesive from ThermoWeb, and it just is really sticky, and it worked well on all of these layers and the kind of mixed media background. So now I'm going to lay down that larger floral piece, and then the smaller one I'm going to put up on foam squares. and just layer it over the top. And I'm kind of nestling the leaf. I'm making it go right around the date so that it fills in that space. And then the other pieces I'm just kind of tucking in there, as you can see. So now I'm going to work on my title portion, and I'm just sticking all of the pieces there, and I will pop up that little white flower as well on some foam adhesive. And I love the way that that ended up looking, the title portion of the layout. So now I'm nearly done, and I'm going to add my journaling, and I'm just going to add it right above that left floral cluster. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to add a little dreaming of this little label from the die cut package in with the title portion of the layout. And then I'm going to write my journaling with a white pen above the florals. Okay, so that is going to finish this layout up. You'll remember maybe that there was a little portion of that hello card that I cut off at the very beginning, and I'm going to, at the last part of this video, show you how I made a bookmark out of that little leftover piece from the hello 4x6 card. So stick around for that, and at the very end I'll have close-up photos of both projects. I did forget that I added a little bit of some navy splatter to finish this off. So here I come back to talk to you in real time. Thanks for watching.
Hey there, so here is my finished layout that I made, and I didn't end up using any of those. Well, I used one of those little cards from the Project Life kit for my title, and there was this little bit left over from it that was on the bottom, and I thought this would make a perfect little bookmark, and so I wanted to show you how I'm going to just quickly make a little bookmark. I'm going to use these alphabet stickers that they come in the Project Life kit as well, so all of the stuff I'm using I think comes in the Project Life kit. I'm also going to use this. I don't know if that comes in the Project Life kit, I can't remember, but I'm just going to write on this little line here, just one more page. My daughter has been reading a ton lately, and so I thought this would be a fun little thing to make for her, and I'll just, I'm going to give it to her with a new book for her to read, and just kind of a little gift that I can give her to encourage her to keep reading. School's out, or it's going to be out in... just not this week, but next week's the last week of school, and I want to encourage her to keep reading through the summer, and so I thought this would be a fun little gift to give her with a book on the first day of summer that she can be excited about reading. So just going to stick these letters down. It might just fit. I might have to adjust the letters a little bit, but I'll go ahead and stick everything down with you, and then I'll adjust it if I need to. And I think what I'll do is stitch these letter stickers down just so that I can make sure they're not going to go anywhere. If she's going to be using it and sticking it in and out of her book, I just want to make sure that it's going to stay where it needs to. So, and some of her favorite colors are blue and orange, so I'm going to see if there's a little orange flower or something I can stick on here too. Okay, looks like I might have to shift everything just slightly to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you how I'll finish it up. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stitched down just one more page. I also added this little arrow strip that's from the cut apart sheet. This one, and I like the way that looks as well. So I've stitched, and you can see there's a mess on the back, and so what I want to do is cover that up. So I'm going to use the Illustrated Faith washi tape that came in the kit. I'm going to cover the entire back of this bookmark with the tape, and so what I'm going to just do is start at the edge, and I'll just tape it all down, and then I'll trim the excess off the sides, and I'll also trim the pieces that are hanging out. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and get the tape down. Okay, so I had punched a hole with my Crop-A-Dile, and since I put the tape there, I'm just going to punch the hole again. There we go. A little piece of tape up there. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I'm going to add a little heart down here. Now I had talked about maybe adding a flower or something. There wasn't anything that I could find that I loved, so I'm just going to add one of these little Illustrated Faith epoxy or enamel hearts right there. And then I also am going to corner round the edges. So I just have my corner rounder just to kind of give it a finished look at the top. And then I have my little paper clip here, which is good, but I'm also going to thread this. So I have some twine, and I'm just going to tie a little, well, I think I'm going to do the thing where you put the loop in and then pull it through. There we go. And then I'll have my little paper clip right there. And then I have a nice little bookmark for my daughter that I can give to her with a new book. And then the back is covered in washi tape, so it's cute on the back. And then if there's anything that I would add to this, it would be pink. So maybe I would add a pink heart instead of yellow. I don't know. She likes yellow though. I'm gonna leave it with what my daughter would like and call it good. I've got tons of pink on the back, so that is kind of a little bonus project with the leftovers from my layout. I hope that you've enjoyed, and be sure to go over to hipkitclub.net where you can find everything, and then you can head over to their blog as well. Thanks so much for watching.